What is up, everybody? This is Logan in the Subconscious Sanctuary. The time is 9:59 p.m. Late start tonight, March 26, 2018. And I have kind of an interesting dream from last night. We've been kind of going down a rabbit hole of drug-related thoughts, not use, but thoughts. And this plays into that well, but I think you'll find interesting the kind of self-reflection aspect of this dream instead of just being drug-related. And on that note, I'm going to try and stop, but I can't really stop what I'm subconsciously thinking about. It's just kind of how it goes. I've been doing some reality checks today, as you should be as well. I've been questioning things. I should be questioning more, how did I get here? I'll go ahead and say that I was just reading on the ground because I was next to the charger. I remember standing up, coming over here. Everything checks out. Where am I going next? I'm probably going to meditate before bed because it's going to put me to sleep, and then I'm going to fall asleep really easily. So, with that being said, my dream from last night, the first thing I wrote down was this mostly took place in a World of Warcraft scenario. My dad's girlfriend just bought a building, a large building I put, and it was called, and I put this in parentheses because I remember like a huge neon sign, and the setting was very strange because it was like realistic texture sometimes, but sometimes it was like World of Warcraft, like orcs running around and other species that don't exist, and that kind of pixelated, computer game kind of look. But I remember the sign saying, "Come here to destroy your memory. Come here to destroy your memory." And it was like a big flashy sign, she was so proud she just bought this. And I'm pretty sure I wrote next, I said, and I think it was a weed place. I think it was like a dispensary. And it was called "Come here to destroy your memory." I thought that was the weirdest thing. In the dream even, I remember double taking that, like, that's really weird. Why would anybody go there? And I think it's kind of like why would anyone smoke a cigarette, and then it goes to the moth that just keeps flying into the light bulb over and over, and it's like, oh, that's a dumb idea, doing something that kills you a little bit every time you do, and it's every day. And weed's no different, it has its drawbacks, and I've been kind of mentally conflicted hardcore about starting up again, I suppose you could say. Which, just in itself, the way I phrase that always, starting up again, like it's a light switch, you either are on or you're off. I mean, I guess I could just smoke like once a week or once a month or whatever, but that's I don't know. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. But in my dream, so my dad's girlfriend just buys this building, and I'm seeing it from like a third-person perspective. Maybe, I don't know if I'm standing by the front door looking in. I think that was kind of closer to it. I said I think it's a weed place. We visited some royal human palace, though I don't recall why. Now, I wrote this wrong. I meant to say we were visited by some royal guards. So, if you know anything about World of Warcraft, the humans are kind of like shiny armor, plate stuff, eagle emblems on stuff, or griffins probably, lots of griffins. And I remember being in somewhat like a throne room, me, my dad, AJ, which is my dad's girlfriend, and yeah, these royal guards, think of like a 5x5 formation of them just come marching in with their shields and stuff. And one guy comes forward, and I don't remember the dialogue, but I remember this interaction between us and the royal guards coming in through our gate nonetheless. Like, we didn't have a front door, we had a freaking gate. It was sweet. Sweet dream, super vivid, but at the same time kind of muddled. Vivid, but my dream recall wasn't there. Sorry, my cats are being spazzes all over the place. I'm also wearing a crazy shirt, don't even worry about it. This is our subconscious sanctuary. I remember playing a card game AJ made up, so this was interesting. She made up a game, and the objective of the game, I think I actually, now that I think about it, played a game like this, if not exactly like it. The objective of the game, Zach, if you're watching this, you remember because you taught me, was to figure out the rules of the game as you played, and the people at the table may or may not know the rules of the game. So as it turned out, people would have like one card in their hand, there'd be one card in the middle. You'd be drawing another card, and the objective turned out to be like it has to equal 10, I think. And then it turned out there was letters and numbers as well as like symbols, and it got more complicated like a language. And I think this had to go with a conversation I talked to an ex-military man I would work with who was talking about something where they give you a fake language, and the test is to see how fast you can discern like what it means, the different words in this false language. And so the game was kind of that, testing myself and my ability to understand a game that I just subconsciously created. So at the exact same time as I was subconsciously creating a new system, I was tearing it apart and figuring out how it worked. Super weird, because it's not like I saw something and then it switched again like a normal dream. No, I remember these numbers were there. I sat there and I pondered like, what does this one mean in relation to that one? Got another one. Oh, that's it. It reminded me a lot of like a psychedelic and a trip kind of. You make these brain connections to the past that you just don't normally have. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but perhaps you someday there will be a psychedelic viewer that will be like, dude, I know what you mean, it's crazy, because it really is weird, and it's very intriguing how your brain will make connections to other things when you block out certain parts of your brain. Let's say you just don't hear anymore, you're going to focus more on the other senses. It's something like that, but it has to do with the more complex idea of memory, I believe. So this royal guard just come in, delivers a message. I remember fighting across many somethings. I think maybe it says areas, many areas, in search of my dual-wielding hammer axes. So I became an orc, and in first person, like vivid HD 4K kind of resolution. I remember running through like the sewers of Skyrim, I think it was, or I'm picturing like those large rats and stuff in the very beginning, or maybe the Thieves Guild, going down into the Thieves Guild in Skyrim, if you know that area. It's kind of what I was visually seeing as I was running and fighting these huge monsters, and I was the orc. I wasn't just like seeing an orc. I was the orc, and I knew that I had a mission I had to complete to get my dual wielding. I thought they were axes when I first woke up, but then I thought I remembered them being hammers, so I just wrote hammer axes. It'd be sweet. Picture like a hammer on one side, axe on the other, because it doesn't really matter. It was cool either way. And I think by the end of it, I finally got them, and there was a girl who was like the main bad person the whole time. Picture Kerrigan from StarCraft 2. That's kind of who I'm picturing. I think that's who it was in the dream. But she was kind of guiding my quest and, adding all these difficulties in my path as they normally would do with a bad person in a game or a movie or strange lifetime layout as in this. Excuse me, I'm very tired. Yeah. Also, I think I remember dreaming a little bit about ants. Spring is coming soon, and I would like to have my first ant farm because I've been watching a lot of videos from Ants Canada on YouTube. Great channel if you're interested in ant farming, and it's really inspired me to go from capturing a queen during their first nuptial flight, which is when like the males and females come together and they mate, capturing a bunch of queens, letting them sit and lay eggs in a test tube setup. They go from a queen and 5 to 12 eggs or however many depending on the species to a few months down the road when they hatch their first worker ants, putting them in an enclosure, and I want to go from queen all the way to colony. And it might be a couple year journey, but I think it would be really rewarding to see that. As well as, I'll probably have a bait farm, which will be kind of fun. He's got a cockroach farm, which is kind of gross. I'll probably do mealworms, but cockroaches are actually kind of fascinating when you watch them really close up. I guess we just do a lot of weird shit on this channel. You don't have to support all of them by any means. In fact, you don't have to support any of it. I just hope that you, by watching all these crazy videos, have a lucid dream, or at least are more disciplinarily focusing on your lucid dreaming techniques. And remember, last but not least, be doing your reality checks every time you think about it. You glance at something and it looks like something you saw in a dream last night. This happens often. Ask yourself, how did I get here? Where am I going? Do a reality check. Try and breathe in through your nose. It's been working really well for Sense of Pride 1. You'll see him down in the comments, hopefully. Probably my most loyal person, definitely, right now. Here, this is my favorite cat. Princess. Meow. So sweet. Um, do your reality checks, question everything, and that applies to real life too. Not just about if you're dreaming or not, but just kind of ask yourself why. I think it makes you a more inquisitive person. The more questions you ask, the more questions you'll find you'll have to ask, but the more answers you'll get, and it'll make you a better person all around. At least more knowledgeable, more wise. That's all I got for tonight. Hopefully tonight's the night. I've been really banking on one of these nights of lucid dream. I get so excited that I just forget, I guess. I don't know. It's strange how that works. I definitely haven't been as disciplined in my reality checks as I need to be. Tomorrow I plan on changing that. I'm making this, a firm thing right now. I'm changing that tomorrow. And that's the way you gotta be. Should have been that today. Hoping for the best. Good night, everyone. Lucid dreams.